to see you. Wonderful Wednesday to you, Dennis. Hi, okay. Hello to everybody else. If you haven't ever done so, take a minute, introduce yourself, and say hello. Make sure you are willing to participate and lend your perspective because it is appreciated. This is a little bit of background on me. I have been trading for over 20 years. I have been teaching for almost 20 years now. My slide's a little out of date. These are the disclosures. Let me leave them up here for a second, and I'll give you a quick summary. Trading can be risky, options especially. We're not investment advisors. This is for education purposes only, so we hope you learned something here. We may and likely will have an interest in the securities that we talk about, and that is it. Okay. Well, let's talk about the market then. We did meet this morning. We had a very productive meeting. If you missed it, it was very productive. Let's talk about what I'm going to update this because things are so it opened down. And we're like, oh, it's opening down. And then we said, but wait, it's a long day. So is it going to stay that way? We don't know. Got a little worse by the end of the webinar, and then things just sort of bottomed out and reversed and has been plodding its way forward to the point that now the S&P is up 0.17, the Dow 0.23, the NASDAQ is flirting with positive territory, and the Russell's still down 1%. Dennis said he was on roof this morning cleaning up debris. I hope damage was minimal and everything recoverable, sir. And wish you luck in getting things back in order, back in good order. So, in fact, we even talked about we had a trade that we had placed on Marvell. We said if we're going to call out a bottom, we want to do it on something that has a chance to move. So we went technology, and we went into the chip sector. We picked a pretty good one. I actually said, you know what? I personally closed half of the trade and left the other half on. And this morning, when it was down a little bit, said, well, right now I'm grateful I sold half. But if by the end of the day things have recovered, we might be finding ourselves saying, I'm glad I kept half. So let's go look at that. It's an interesting shakeup because one of the things I mentioned was if the market stayed the way it was, I'm going to buy some puts. And I'll tell you exactly why, but I'm not because it didn't, at least as of now. So we'll get to that. I'm just giving you an exciting lead in. So make sure that you stick around and find out all of the magnificent details. Let's take a look at Marvell just because that is one that we put on. Yeah, look at that. Right? Yesterday, I said, you know what? I'm happy with some of this. I took half off. This morning, it was down here, and I'm like, you know what? Look how smart I am. I took half off. And then by the end of the day, I'm like, look how smart I am. I kept half of it open. That, my friends, that's how I stay smart in the markets. The trade's looking good at this point. So this is the full position here. I mentioned that I did not close half of them here. I closed half of them in my own personal account. But the trade's looking great. I mean, right? Look at this. Magnificent. Volume's up. I'm looking now to see if we can get up here to 50. Old resistance, old support, old resistance area. A very key level. So I think, you know what? If I get to 50, I'll take the other half off the table. And I don't remember. Did we have a target? Anyone in this trade with me? I hope at least a few of you took this when we took it and stayed with it as we never saw it violate. I'm so glad to hear. Oh, it is 50. Look at that. That's exactly what my target was. I'm glad to hear there's no damage, just a little messy, Dennis. I'm very glad to hear that news. So 50 was my target, and now we're at 48.87. So we're right in this area here, making some money. And a little further to go, but not too much, right? But there's still some distance there. So that's what I'm looking for. If it gets to that target, the target was achieved, and I'm good and I'm done. So yeah, we had a very interesting discussion. I think it was very on point for what we actually saw happen. Stocks rise from session lows as volatile trading continues. Yeah, okay, that's true. What Elon Musk's Twitter ambitions could mean for Tesla. What's the deal there? Anybody participating in that? I sort of just bowed out and thought, nah, I'm not really interested. But yesterday, when the news finally came that he would be indeed buying Twitter at 54, we're right back up to this level. This is right before the news happened back here, right? Let me see. I might need to go a year. So it jumped up, got a little up there, pulled back a little bit, but that's where we were. And then all of a sudden the news wasn't so good. And now we're back to where it's good news again. I don't know. I have zero interest in trading it at this point. But to be honest, I think it is negatively influencing Tesla. That's certainly weighing and causing Tesla to have broken this support level and looking to go back and test these yearly lows. Really is 206. We're at 240. Doesn't look great, right? It doesn't look great. What other news? We're going to see oil. We're going to see 65 before we see 100. Okay, well, let's see what kind of a prediction that is, because it felt like we were close to. Is that on crude? Oh, okay. Crude is at 87. We're as low as 76. There's 100. 65 is down here. I mean, whatever that's based off of. This to me is the consolidation that we were working in. I'm a fan of mapping a consolidation. We had a very similar kind of a thing. It was going this way, and then it slowed down to this, and it did break. And as that broke, I was looking to see if it held, and it just didn't. It fell all the way back down. At that point, there was no break for me. Kept coming down. Now what do we have? We have a break. What am I looking for? If it pulls back here to 80 and turns, I disagree with whoever said that. Maybe not 100, but at least this level here. But I would say that if this happens, my target would be up in this venue, this area. And that's what I would be looking for as a completed reversal. So, okay, there you go. Crude. What else? What else are we talking about? Housing brought to its knees by the Fed. Well, yeah, they raise rates. So naturally, mortgage rates go up. As mortgage rates go up, buying power goes down. It was unsustainable, right? We're not going to get 18% a year for multiple years sustainably. Then it's just, who's pushing it? I don't think that's, it's a bit disingenuous to me. I really think that there's even room to have a little bit of pullbacks, hide my online activities. I've got nothing to hide. Everyone can see. I'm an open book. Oops. I am an open book. Anything else? Boeing stock could rise 90%. We already talked about that. The Fed's reverse repo just hit a fresh record of 2.4 trillion. Why that's one of the clearest bad signs for the market. That looks interesting. I'm going to read that later on here when we're done. OPEC agrees to biggest oil production cut since start of pandemic. What was the amount? Who's Wall Street Journal? I don't think they're going to let me read this. What was the cut? Anyone know? I think if I try, they're going to ask me for a subscription. No? Oh, okay. Likely to boost prices and help Moscow. I got to continue. Oh, it is. Okay. I guess I can't know. I don't want to register. It's quiet out there. What's everybody doing? Talk to me. How are you trading in this bump? Are you still in bullish trades? Did you take some bullish trades? Are you taking profits now? Do you think it's got more room to run, or is it running low on steam? Talk to me. Let me know. That's it. That's it for the news. Oh. Hold on. We are getting close to earnings. I still always go to Alcoa. But we actually have, I think it's some financials that come in here. I'd say probably around the 12th or the 13th. Maybe like Bank of America. Bank of America is the 17th. JP Morgan. That's probably the earliest, the 14th. The 14th, that's a week from Friday. So basically, next week you'll get just the first little piece, and then starting on the 17th through the 28th, this 2-week window, I don't know, I don't think you can actually see. I've got my computer calendar up. The 17th through like the 28th, that's earnings season. Now we get some corporate information. LK says trading both directions, taking quick profits. That seems like a reasonable plan. Ku says he wants to see what comes out on Friday's report, talking about jobs, the jobs report, which is important. Let's look at the economic calendar. So we're done with today. ADP came back as expected, 200,000, which is maintaining, but not necessarily growing. And again, do we expect the real estate market to give some back? Of course. If you thought it wasn't going to, that's on you, I think. I think we all knew that was coming. It's just how much? Is it 8 to 10%? Okay, right? Some areas. Here in Utah, where I am, I know they're talking about that. My wife said that's identified as one that has popped a little harder up, which means it's likely to pop a little harder down. No sound, I'm told. No sound. Can you guys hear me? Yes, Dennis says. Well, if one can hear me, I assume all can hear me except for the one who said there is no sound and there's really not much I can do. There's really not much I can do. So, sorry about that. Let me see if I can't. Okay. Send it. Full send. What else do we know? Tomorrow, jobless claims. That number's fine. Anything less than 250,000 is fine. That's not really problematic. As long as the labor market stays intact, I think that our potential for a soft landing on this is intact from a market standpoint. Some Fed speak, and then Friday, we're full of information on Friday. Starting with non-farm, looking for 275,000. That's slightly, ever so slightly, in growth territory. Unemployment rate expected to stay at 3.7. My sources, and I'm like second guessing. I can't remember if they said 5 or 5.5. I think it was 5.5, said that the Fed said we may see unemployment back up at 5.5 as we try to counter inflation and get this thing under control. It's running too hot. 5.5, that's 1.8%. I mean, that's theoretically like a few million jobs. So yeah, that could hurt a little bit. That's part of the pain that we're talking about. More Fed speak. That's about it. Okay. So we looked at the model. Let's look again. It's a C grade. The model's saying we may pull back, but may not break support. So this type of a pullback for me is fine, especially if by the time we get to this point, if this wags up, bing, that's a reversal. I'm right. There's the consolidation, break, higher low, higher high, higher high, higher low, and then ready to go. I'm certainly open to bullish possibilities, without a doubt. I am absolutely open to bullish possibilities. The NASDAQ on the predictive model looks even better still. That was a C grade. This is a B grade. And the B grade says, watch out. We're looking to stomp our way forward. Okay, fair enough. IWM. IWM. A C grade. And looking for a little bit more, followed by a full retracement back to higher lows. And then we have the Dow. So we have kind of a mixed bag right now. The model's like trying to dial in, trying to get it all figured out. The NASDAQ, or excuse me, the Dow is the most bearish as it looks to see a little bit of a broken support level. That's where it puts us. Okay. Cyclically speaking, we tend to bounce, and you can see even here these first few days in October tend to be big, and that's exactly what we saw. But then there's a pause. Now, if it's just a little pause and then a bounce, then for me the fall rally is on. Hell yeah, let's go. Let's go. So what would that look like? It would look like a little bit of a pullback followed by a bounce. That would be a higher low. And we have many charts giving that exact setup. That's what we're about to go through and talk about. Here is we'll maybe do that later. Here's the heat map. Tesla sucking it up. Probably part of that Twitter deal. Healthcare's gone positive. Technology's gone positive. Industrials, some aspects of cyclical. Okay. Utilities, no good. Real estate, no good. Consumer defensive, no good. Financials. We'd sure like to have financials participate. We would like to have financials participate. Now, as of right now, maybe. But it turned out to be an okay day overall. As of right now, let's get a quiz. Where are we going to finish? So at this point, whereas earlier in the day it looked like it wanted to roll over, this looks like it's just advancing further into some overbought territory. Certainly the volume is diminishing. Average as of now, 96.5 million. Current, 64. 38 minutes left. Are we going to get to average? No. I think we might get another 10 million or so. 75, maybe 80 million, but that's going to be about 20% short of average. So already as we buy up, we're like, oh, it's running out of steam. Fine. That's fine. That's not that big. This is not what I am trading for the breakout. Remember, we said if we're going to trade something bullishly, we do it down here, or we are spectators. Right? It's either you pick it up when it's down there or you are a spectator. And we did, and we're riding it. But I'm not looking at it now. Now I'm saying this looks a lot like this. We got 4 days, and then it gave it back. Now, if in here it would have turned, I still would have been bullish. That's not what happened. That's not what it did. So if it pops up here, and then it turns, and then it gives me this, I'm more bullish there than I am now. But if it drops all the way back to prior lows or even worse, all bets are off. Overall, my market posture is still more bearish than not. Right? Just because we've had a few good days on, pretty average looking volume Don't get swept up into that. Make sure you get the confirmation you're looking for to fully confirm what's going on here. Let's get that quiz going. Okay. I'm going to go higher than yesterday's high. So that's where I'm going to, let me get a little closer first. Okay. Higher than yesterday's high. So A's, this is where you live. A's, you think it's going to hold on. I'm going to give it a dollar range. So I'm going to take this little area here where we had some resistance and it broke it. That's B's. So anything above 378, you're an A. In between, you're a B. Below 377, you are a C. Dennis went first. He said A. Fred, good afternoon to you. B for Fred. LK is an A. Okay. Phil is an A. The Bulls are feeling it. John, I don't think is here, but I'm gonna mark John as a C because he tends to be. C, you think it's gonna fall all the way through. You're bearish. We were at C around the time the meeting started. Can we get back there? Sure. Brad is an A. Okay. While everyone else mulls that over and puts their answer in, you can only win a gold medal if you put your answer on the board for the world to see. Let's go to SPY. Mark, is that you? Mark's a B, or is it Tom? Whoever just said B, tell me who you are. I'm guessing Mark or Tom. If it's somebody else, I apologize. Tom, yeah, got it. I'm learning my no names. Let's zoom this down to an intraday prediction, and we'll see what Stella thinks. Stella, tell us how you see it. Okay, Stella says we are going to finish at 379.54. 379.54. She says new highs. And who am I to argue with Stella? I'm joining the A's. So we've got 2 in the B's. Everybody else is an A, including Stella. And then John, who is not here, but we have assigned the C position. There it is. Let me know if you have any questions. Window is closing. Okay. So let's talk about those puts. I hope nobody hedged early. This is why I wait to the end of the day. Because when you hear me say, well, it's a long day in the morning, it's because we've got 6 to 6.5 hours remaining during the course of that webinar. 6 to 6.5. And a lot can happen. And a lot did happen. So at this point, what happened? We got it back, right? When we were looking at this morning, we said, are we willing to take trades? We said, probably not yet. Why? Well, this is why. This morning, it looked like this. Right? Looked like this. And in fact, you didn't know I had somewhat of eraser capabilities. Not a lot, just a little bit. I can shade that out a little bit. That's what it looked like. And when it looked like that, we said, oh, that's not good. And not only did it look like that, but we had a representation from the VIX that said the institutions are protecting. What does it look like now? Well, now all of a sudden we're higher than we were yesterday. Not by a lot. It's not like this is like, what? We are 65 cents higher than we were yesterday. Let's jump into some bullish positions. Like I said, for me, you were bullish 3 days ago, or you're watching this move. Don't be late, right? Don't be late. Okay. Let's go look at the VIX. That's I told everyone too this morning. I said, look, if I buy puts, it is for one reason and one reason alone, and that is a signal on the VIX. What is the signal? The signal is a higher low. Higher low. What does the higher low mean? A higher low, in this case, means fear amongst the institutions is escalating. Here was a consolidation. We broke it, looked to hedge in there, looked to hedge in there, again in here, again over here, and boom, boom, boom. What's happening here? We're escalating. And really, we're escalating at potentially a faster rate. But what am I thinking now? Well, same thing. Earlier this morning, it looked like this. Why is that a higher low? Well, I know it's a low because it came down and turned. Is it a higher low now? No. Why? Because it's come down and it's still down. This is still down. Is it setting up for a higher low? Yes. Yes, this is for me the biggest concern of the conditions that we're experiencing right now. The institutions are not showing much confidence. This is the rate. This is the line right here as of right now. Although technically, for me to not think higher low, it's got to come all the way back through 26, not to it, through it. As of right now, I'm thinking, man, it's going to have a hard time getting through this 28 level. So if it dojis tomorrow and then on Friday it does this, same trade exists. I'm buying puts 5 weeks out, 5% out of the money on the SPY. That's my pattern. 5 weeks out, 5% out of the money. That's my pattern. But this is concerning here, right? Now, the biggest concern was yesterday. Like, why was yesterday so tepid? Yesterday should have looked like this. You can see I'm having fun with my drawing tools today. Yesterday should have looked like that. That's what I would have expected. And I've been like, oh, even if it recovers up from here, I start to think lower high. That's when we start to get bullish. Right? Bullish, bullish, bullish. Come on. Bullish, bullish. A lot of opportunity in here for bullish trades. We got about 2.5 months out of it. What are we thinking now? Well, we might get 2.5 months out of a fall/Santa rally. However, we didn't get that yesterday. We got just this paltry little pullback that said, you know what? The institutions do not seem to be all that convinced. So still, if it turns, that's a higher low, I'll be bearish. But if it goes up for a little bit and doesn't get back up to here, if it just gets into this 30 to 32 range, and then it starts to fall out of that, great. Giddy up. I'm bullish. I'm trading bullishly out of that. The VIX is one of my primary sentiment indicators that helps me to see when are we seeing a shift. So it's interesting right now. So the signal is not there for puts. I hope nobody bought puts, and I hope you're not thinking about doing it unless you get a more convincing signal that is indicative. But for now, status quo. If you're bullish and you have bullish trades, you should still be managing those trades. If you haven't taken half of your profits, you should maybe think about it, especially if it's a short-term trade. If it's an investment, then yeah, okay, hold on longer. I'm not gonna tell you should sell that, but if you took the trade for the short term and it's already moved as much as it has in your favor over 2 to 3 days, don't be greedy. Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. Right? Know exactly where. Same thing like the Marvell. If it gets to 50, I'm going to take my profit and move on. Good trade. Made money. I've got a developing bearish watch list because I'm still worried that we're not out of the woods just yet. Again, weigh in. Let me know. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What are your concerns? Let's talk about it. Let's get to the watch list and see what we think. So this is the pattern that you're going to see a lot of. You're going to be able to identify, and how you draw the lines might matter. You could draw this. I would be more inclined to go this way. They intersected in a way that I was not supposed to, but yeah, I would say for me, coming through here, what does it indicate? We did break it. It could go a little higher. It could pull back and give me a higher low, and that would be indicative of a shift, a fully confirmed shift within the context of supply and demand. That pattern we're going to see a lot. Okay. Apple, same kind of a thing, popped up. Is it enough? You tell me. ADI, now ADI, that's smashing higher, right? Very much higher in that scenario. There's our consolidation. There's our breakout. You can see there's a price volume divergence. Price moving higher, volume moving lower. So we need to see if this thing does pull back and get to here. Okay, perfect. ADM still looks okay. Still looks like it's setting up for the next move. Any of these that you think look bullish, wait for the higher low, take the trade, manage the risk. That's all we can ask for. AMD, I actually don't really like AMD for chips. I like Marvell. I like NVIDIA. AMD looks to be one of the weakest. Amazon. Okay. It's trying again. What do you mean again, Scott? I mean, there it tried to break out of this consolidation. It popped up, came back, and fell too far. Right? You can see here. Consolidation, break, hold. There. One opportunity, and then things fell apart again. Although here was a higher low and here was a higher low. So actually, I disagree. There could have been more trades in that general vicinity coming out of the split. So what would I be looking for now? I actually think same thing. I would probably identify that as my move. And so if it meanders a little and then pulls back and does something like that, that looks good. As I said before, not convinced about financials and their level of participation. Boeing. Somebody said Boeing could go up 90%. Could it? 90% would be what? $120 higher? Puts it back at $250? Come on. Like, let's get realistic before we just start spouting things off and writing articles, right? Think about it first. Alibaba, maybe the Chinese stocks make an attempt. Financials don't look great. Caterpillar, I like. In the proverbial Caterpillar / John Deere tractor pull, right now I'm giving the lean to Caterpillar. ConocoPhillips strong, gave a signal. I passed. I didn't like this gap. I didn't like how strong that sell-off was. I saw that. And we had a pretty good window to trade it. 3 days of valid trading there. And then it made its move. And now that it's made its move, it's like, no, not now. You're late to the party. The cops are already here. Costco kind of sideways, nothing there for me. DBC's looking okay. John Deere, as I said, I like Caterpillar better. DIA looks pretty good. Disney is still waiting to catch wind of my upcoming trip. When people find out, I'm sure the investment dollars will flow into Disney again. I have no doubt. I'm not sure when I'm going to have that press conference, but soon. I'll let you guys know. FTX, not much there. FXI, I like that. I think that's a broken consolidation. But again, we've tried. Back here, this was consolidating. It tried. Couldn't hold. Right? Couldn't hold. Consolidating. Broke. Couldn't hold. Now what? Now it seems like this is my consolidation. Broke. What do I need it to do? Well, if it wasn't valid when it didn't hold, for it to be valid, it needs to hold. So if it pulls back and turns, there. There is what it looks like. There she blows. Okay. Gold. I mean, gold looks okay. If you like gold, it definitely had a breakout here and is starting to subside. I think there's a little something there for you. IWM. Jets looks pretty good. I mean, it's the same pattern. So you're going to have to decide how much of that pattern are you willing to trade. If you get bullish signals, how much are you willing to put on? If you do a bearish trade, how much hedge are you going to put on? It might depend on how much bullish you still have. Be fluid, be water, my friends. Marvell. Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, we picked a good one. Microsoft looks good. Looks like it's breaking out. It's ready to participate in a tech-led rally. Feeling good about it. Netflix, very sideways. Very, very sideways. NVIDIA looks good. Doesn't look as good as Marvell. I think we ended up selecting the best. The best of the bunch, of the breed. QQQ, very similar pattern. Starbucks gave a signal very similar to the chips where it gave it, then it kind of eased off of it, never broke support though, and now it would be making money. If you took the trade 5 days ago, right? So silver looks like it's trying to put in a reversal. Semiconductors look strong. That's some good news. If we see Microsoft and Apple and semiconductors, that's a great recipe to help lead a market into more bullish territory. SPY staying positive. Oh, but it's flirting with the zones. We said 378. No. Yes? What did we say? No, I forgot. Hold on. Yesterday's high, 377.97. Yeah, 378. Anything above 378. Anything below. Okay. So it's just right in that area. It's flirting. It looks so good, and now it's giving it back. Okay. PayX, Fred says. I'm willing to look at a few. If you got one you want to look at, throw it at me and we'll take a peek. Paychecks Inc. Yeah, I don't know. It's coming off some lows. The consolidation still seems to be intact. I want to see a little bit more. We said DRV, Drive, Real Estate Bear. Yeah, I mean, real estate was one that we saw leading the way down. Huh. Okay. DRV looks all right to me. Looks like it's trying to turn. It's just a weak signal coming out of this flag type pattern. Did we talk about Visa? Visa. It's everywhere you want to be. Looks okay. Like it could be moving. There's the VIX looking okay. Okay. Gush XOP. Somebody said XOP should look somewhat similar to COP. Yeah. I mean, here's the hard thing on something like this. If you didn't catch it early, you're just kind of in that, did I wait too long? Am I chasing it? What am I going to do with it? I agree that's strong. And I actually think if that were to make a little bit of a pullback, there would be a very interesting argument to be made for that trade. Looking for a reversal to the downside. Yeah, that's a tough one. Because I have a trading rule that says I don't buy weakness. I don't sell strength. Okay. Gush. I'm not that familiar with Gush. Let's take a look. Gush. Gush. More oil. It looks very similar. One or the other, I would say. One or the other. Okay, so now, we're not going to talk tomorrow. We will talk Monday, but only in the morning. And then we won't talk again till Wednesday. So let's talk about the concept of the hedge. Now, it's only a hedge if you put bullish trades on. If you don't have bullish trades on, it's not a hedge. If you're thinking about it, you're thinking about speculating to the downside. My general pattern of trade coming off of a VIX signal. So if it's a VIX higher low, I'm going to be buying typically about 5% out of the money and 5 weeks out in time. And that gives me plenty of time. So if I look at this trade here, as it broke below these lows, that's when we looked to get in. That's a good move. That's a better move. Do I have time for the better move? I do. Okay. Okay, so where are we now? We're just flirting around this area, holding on to these highs. Not the highs, but at least holding on to this range. The VIX down at new lows. So, yeah, that's where we find ourselves. What new trades would you consider? I'm starting now. For me personally, this does not meet my rules for a continuation trade. I'm not doing a continuation trade. So I'm either already in bullish trades or I'm not taking them, but I'm not going to chase in late. Would I maybe look into, something else? Probably. But slipping into B territory, Fred said. So the big thing for me is, does the VIX confirm? What do we do with it? If I get VIX confirmation, I'm probably going to be, over the next couple of days, I'm going to be taking more profits. If Marvell gets to 50, I'm done. There's no more. I'm done. So that's the kind of thing that I'm going to be looking for. Slipping into B territory, maybe that's true. Let's take a look at the SPY again. Any other stocks you want to look at? If you're going to short, you better know what. Oh, it sure did. Look at that right at the end. Bing, we just crossed in, all you bees. Look at you, smarties. You smarty pantses. Got it. Okay. All right. Well, we might call it a little bit early today. There's not going to be any trades put on today. I'm going to definitely ride another day to see if my Marvell can get to its target of 50. If it does, I'm going to be out. I'm actually going to place that as an order. I'm not going to place the stop or move a stop, but I am going to create a closing order to sell my spread. If what? If markets are retreating big time at the end, they might be. So, if this goes up to greater than or equal to $50, I want out. Done. Done. And where does this leave us? It leaves us wondering what's tomorrow going to bring. I will not going to be here tomorrow. Vlad will be here with you tomorrow to evaluate what's happening and make some decisions about what you want to do with it. Of course, best of luck. Best of luck with that. Make sure you have a plan for every trade and execute that plan as best you can. Any remaining questions? Throw them at me now. We covered a lot of ground, but at this point, we're still stuck in a situation where we need more information. Without that additional information, it's very difficult for us to make the assessment of which way we think is going next. Okay. Well, let's go take a look. We're going to give the gold medal now, a little early. Oh, yeah. Look at that. We dropped right through. Everyone's like, there's no way it's going to go to the C territory. And we just crossed into C territory. So not only did it get into B, but it went right through it. I'm gonna go to 1:55 Mountain Time. That's a minute and 30 seconds to make sure that it's fully representative. Now you remember I said there might be some big volume. Look at this. Just right here alone. 2 million. 2 million in this window that's only 3 minutes. Let's go back and take a look. But you'll notice with 7 minutes left. The volume is now at 74 million. I thought maybe somewhere between 75 and 80. That seems like it's going to be on point. So we'll see if that's indeed what happens. And at this point, let's get back in. Can the buyers give it a push, or is John going to win a gold medal by himself with nobody else even here? Those are the questions. It's an interesting market still. Oh, yeah, it's selling off pretty bad. Look at that. Look at that. Bad and getting worse, right? Bad and getting worse. What's it going to lead to? 376.50 is where we stand now. Definitely it's having a hard time maintaining its prices. Oh, and then it pops up a little bit. Okay. All right. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. C's. The C's have it. I'm going to give it to them. I'll be back Friday morning. Have your coffee. Join me. Let's talk about it. See what we want to do with this market. Have a plan. Stick to the plan. That's it. It's good to see everybody. Be careful out there. It's still working its way around. We still have some Fed speak, and we still have jobs on Friday that's going to certainly act as a big catalyst. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, happy trading. Oh, real quick, did we put on any new trades? Nope. John? Nope, but you won a gold medal, so congratulations. Have a great day, everybody. Happy trading.